Hello there everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's Amiibo here with another pickups video. Now I know what you might be thinking, Bo, you just did a pickups video. In fact, you also just did that video showing off a huge buyout of cool GameCube games, N64 games, Game Boy Advance games. Yes, go check out that video. However, in all honesty with you fellas, I have been holding on to a lot of stuff for quite a while because I didn't make a pickups video on my other channel before launching this for quite some time. So to be real with you, I have a lot of stuff just kind of sitting and waiting, but I don't want to make like an hour-long video showing off pickups. So some of the stuff I'm about to show you that I've picked up, I've had for well over a month, but I just don't want to put it all into one video at the launch of this new channel. Especially since it is a new channel, I want to have some more content that's easy to make, which is what these pickups videos are. So without further ado, let's get into my pickups here. As always, some Switch stuff, some DS stuff, really bulking out the DS collection lately, some new Amiibo reprints that came in, just some exciting stuff, as well as some Goodwill finds. I don't know if I showed any in the last video, but I have a little stack of some miscellaneous games me and my girlfriend have found at Goodwill over the past few weeks, so I wanted to show you that as well. But starting off with the Nintendo Switch stack, as you know, I collect for Nintendo Switch quite heavily here, if you are new. So nothing crazy this month for regular Switch games. First up, picked up a sealed copy of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I bought this like right after they announced the Investigations collection because I like Ace Attorney and I want to play through all these games. I've not played these. I've not played Investigations, so I have quite a bit to get through. I did pick up the Apollo Justice collection as well. I need to get through all those. But with the new collection coming out, I figured I should go ahead and pick up this this collection, which came out back in, I want to say 2021. I think I bought this off of eBay or maybe even Mercari for like 20 bucks, brand new. This next thing is a Woot purchase. So Amazon has this like weird sub website called Woot where they do a bunch of clearance games. I think this was 20 bucks as well. Kingdom Come Deliverance. I heard really good things about this game when it first came out, and it was always peculiar to me that it even came out on Switch. I think the Switch port came out like, it was way after the PS4 and like PC versions, I'm pretty sure, but this is a medieval fantasy game. So yeah, I've heard really cool things about this game and I wanted to check it out. Also, like, Western third-party stuff on Switch interests me a lot. While I mostly play Japanese games, whenever there's like a big budget AAA game that gets ported to Switch from PS4 or even PS5, I'm always very intrigued by like, how's that gonna run on Switch? So that one interested me. But also I got another medieval fantasy game on Switch. This is one I've been meaning to buy for a long time. I think I might own it digitally, honestly. I feel like I've played this on Switch in the past. It came out back in 2017. Of course, it was in the Nintendo Switch reveal trailer, but I finally picked up a physical copy of the Skyrim on Switch. I was going to say the Skyrim Special Edition, but no, this is just plain old, regular old Skyrim. There is like a GameStop variant of this game I've learned, which is like a little bit more pricey. It's like a white cover, which is interesting. But yeah, I want to have all the Bethesda games. I like Bethesda published. I'm not a huge fan of Bethesda games, the studio, but a lot of the stuff they've published, like Doom and all that, Wolfenstein, I love those games. So I've been going for a publisher set for Bethesda. I think I'm only missing Wolfenstein 2 now, which they actually just announced at LRG 3 that they're going to do a new printing of that game where the game is complete on cartridge. So I'll be picking up that through LRG, and then I think I have every other Bethesda game that's come out on Switch. There really hasn't been that much. Now, these next 4 games I got in a bundle on eBay. In fact, it was actually 5 games for $100. I already had one of them, so I sold my sealed copy because I don't really care about having it sealed, and I kept the used copy, although I already put it on the shelf. I don't know why they listed it so cheap. I don't know if they were just trying to make a quick sale, but I saw it, I snagged it immediately. They had every Romancing Saga game listed complete on Switch, which this is the bulk of what I was missing. There's a hair there. This is the bulk of what I was missing for my Square Enix set. They did just release the physical version of Saga Emerald Beyond, so I need to pre-order that or order that from Play Asia. But we have Romancing Saga 3, as well as Saga Scarlet Grace, Romancing Saga 2, and then finally Romancing Saga Minstrel Song Remastered. So very cool, very good deal. I mentioned in the last pickups video that I got a really good deal on like some Pokemon spinoffs. This was a similar thing where I was just scrolling eBay. I saw it pop up for $100 for those 5 games, including Saga Frontier, of course. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy that. So I paid $100 for the 5 games. Then I think I sold my copy of Saga Frontier for like 30 bucks on Mercari or something like that, which Mercari has no fees now for sellers, which is crazy. So that was like 30 real dollars, no weird strings attached. So basically $70 for these 4 games. So definitely happy with that. I need to get Saga Emerald Beyond. I think I'm missing Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon for Switch. And I don't have Octopath 2, actually. I'm missing Octopath 2, so I need to pick up that. I'm hoping it goes down to like 20 bucks. But other than that, I think I have every Square Enix game on Switch, which is exciting. And Romancing Saga is a series I truthfully don't have much experience with. I've played a little bit of Final Fantasy Legend on the Game Boy because they had the collection of Saga that came out on Switch a few years back. I wish that got a physical release. But with the upcoming Romancing Saga 2 remake coming that looks really freaking good, I want to give this series more of a fair shake. Now, usually with Square Enix's Play Asia releases, or their Chinese releases, Asian releases, whatever you want to call these, that release through Play Asia, usually they're just completely English. Romancing Saga has been very inconsistent. In fact, it looks like 2 of these were published by Arc System Works. So one of these, or actually, I guess 2 of them, as you can see, have Chinese on the spine. Normally, these Play Asia Square Enix copies do have full English. So like Minstrel Song here doesn't have an ESRB and it's fully English, and that looks all clean and nice. But then something like Saga, Romancing Saga 2 does have the 12+ rating there, published by Arc System Works, and then yeah, it's Chinese, which is weird. I don't really mind that much. It's not going to go with my imports. I'm just going to put it with the rest of the Saga games in the proper spot at the R. But yeah, cool to have these in the collection. Happy to almost complete the set. I need to get the Saga Emerald Beyond, like I mentioned, but yeah, very happy to have these. Now that's actually it for my regular standard size Switch games. However, there are a couple more things here. First up, saw this pop up for like 25 bucks. I want to get all 3 of these. I already have the one that for Breath of the Wild. They did one for Mario Odyssey as well, but I got the Splatoon 2 Starter Edition, which if you don't know, Nintendo back in 2017, I think around Christmas, re-released Odyssey, or maybe it would have been 2018. They re-released Odyssey, Splatoon 2, and Breath of the Wild in these like big cardboard boxes with a little manual or like a little guide. I think for Odyssey it's like the Traveler's Guide edition. That's the one I'm missing. But yeah, it's just like this cool little Splatoon strategy guide, and it's just a little strategy guide showing you some of the weapons and stuff, which is pretty cool. Since they only did 3 of these, I figured it'd be a fun little set to go for. It also has some stickers, which is cool. Obviously these are gonna stay on their little sheet there. It's a neat little thing they did for those 3 games. I don't really know why they didn't continue doing it. These didn't cost more than the regular editions. Like, they were the same price, so maybe they just figured there's no point. We're losing money. We can still sell Breath of the Wild by itself with no booklet for $60. There's no point in including a booklet with it for free. So maybe that's why they stopped doing it. But yeah, I still need to get the Mario Odyssey one, but I figured these were a pretty cool little thing to go for. And then, of course, we have our new release for July. I recorded and posted the other video like right after it came out, so I didn't get to show it because my copies had not come in the mail yet. But we have Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. This is the US copy. And if you missed it, a few weeks ago, I posted a video showing off the Japanese edition as well. So I got both of them. Now, the cool thing about the Japanese edition is that it comes with the Famicom controllers. So those are in here. But since I was making an Amazon Japan order, I had to pay the shipping anyway. I did go ahead and pick up an extra pair of these. These ones are going to stay in here because they look so nice on display. So yeah, Nintendo World Championships, very cool. I don't know if I'm going to do a review of it. I actually really enjoy it. I like NES games a lot. I grew up with a lot of NES games through GBA, through the NES Classic series. So I'm very nostalgic for like Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Donkey Kong, Mario 1. Like, I love these games quite a bit. So Nintendo World Championships, even though I was kind of hating on it when it was announced over on my other channel, it's a very low budget release. But since I like NES games so much, it's a lot of fun just doing these challenges, even though some games don't hold up very well. Like, I think Kirby's Adventure really is not that fun to play, has a lot of slowdown, but I don't know, I like NES stuff, and these are pretty cool special editions. Definitely go check out my video comparing the US versus Japanese version, and then, yeah, getting the Famicom controllers, my first time ever holding an original Famicom controller, or, you know, as close to it as I will get, realistically, anytime soon, with these Switch versions, was pretty cool. But before that, wind it back, since we're talking about controllers, I will show off this. I got this when I visited Nintendo of America back in, I want to say July. They have a little store in there. If you know someone that can get you in, you can go in. So I picked up this little Genesis controller. I didn't have it. It was the only Nintendo Switch Online controller I was missing. So I decided, you know what? I might as well go ahead and buy this. And that's still sealed, by the way. I haven't had a reason to play a Genesis game, but when I do, I'll be able to whip out the old Genesis controller, which is pretty cool. And I guess now is a pretty good time to go ahead and show off the 4 Amiibo that I picked up this month. Nintendo's been very, very good about reprinting Amiibo recently. I got a comment recently on my other pickups video saying, hey, are you going to do an Amiibo collection tour? I will be doing that soon because while they've been reprinting all these Amiibo, I keep forgetting to show them in pickups videos, but no more. I'm finally gonna start showing these as they come in. But the same day that Nintendo World Championships came out, they reprinted Daisy as well as Peach. Didn't have either of these from the Smash set. And then I think it might have been at the same time, I believe these were GameStop exclusive. We got Ness, of course, from Earthbound, very cool, as well as, most importantly in my opinion, Mr. Game & Watch, which has the extra standees. If you're new here, I had all these when I was younger, but I sold a lot of them when I first moved out because I needed money. So very happy to have this one again, especially. I think this might be the first time they've ever released Mr. Game & Watch by himself in America. Correct me if I'm wrong, because originally he was in the 3-pack with Duck Hunt and Rob. So I don't know if he was ever released standalone in America. So kind of neat that they finally did that. But yeah, I'll definitely be doing an Amiibo collection soon, because as they've been restocking them like feverishly over the past couple months, I have been picking them up as I can. The only one I've missed that they restocked was Cloud Player 2, I think. That went up while I was asleep or something, and I missed that. So I might just need to, you know, bite the bullet and buy that on eBay. But otherwise, I've been able to keep up, and it's been really nice rebuilding that collection that I sold when I was younger. So yeah, definitely expect an Amiibo collection tour very soon. Now, next up, we're going to go through some thrifted finds. Nothing crazy here, but there are a few exciting things, and people always say, like, oh, do you still go to the bins? Do you still find stuff thrifting? Yes, nowhere near as good as it used to be. The Goodwill near me, I guess they finally wised up, and they're actually doing Shop Goodwill the way they're supposed to. I've seen in their back room, I've seen stacks of GameCube games and PS1 games and stuff, which really hurts to see, but every once in a while, things will slip through the crack. I guess cheaper games they just don't care about. So a lot of random cheaper stuff here, but kind of fun shovelware. First up, a couple of Nintendo DS games. Normally we don't find DS games. If we do, we find just the case and they're empty. But some licensed games here. Shrek Forever After. Gotta be honest, pretty hyped for Shrek 5. As well as DreamWorks Superstar Carts, although this one is very water damaged, as you can see. Now, the reason I buy all these is because they are so cheap. I buy them at a Goodwill bins, which is where you pay by the pound. Very cheap. These probably all cost me like, I don't know, maybe $5 for this entire stack that we're going through right now of thrifted games, but probably like 50 cents per, which is obviously way too cheap to pass up. Here we have Cars for Nintendo DS. I'm actually curious to check this one out. I loved Cars growing up. Then we have a PSP game. Once again, very rare to find PSP games. Benton, Protector of Earth. I think it's probably missing the manual, and it is, but also the UMD was not in there properly. Here's a PS2 game I hadn't seen before, Myst 3 Exile. This game's absolutely worthless, but I did not have it, so of course I picked it up. The only Xbox game here, this is kind of cool, it's Jet Set Radio Future with Sega GT 2002. I think this came with the console back in the day. It is broken, the case is broken, and unfortunately, because I was looking, I guess this is actually like worth like, I don't know, like 20 bucks maybe. This disc is pretty dang scratched. I was looking, so let me see here. I mean, it would probably play. Yeah, no, it would definitely play. I don't know why. I remember thinking like this was really scratched when I look at it. I mean, yeah, from certain angles, yeah, it's scratched, but like this would definitely work. So for like I said, like 50 cents from the bins, definitely worth it. Although this one does have a pretty thick manual, so weighs a little bit more. It's going to cost a little bit more, as you would expect. And then finally, 3 Wii games, one of which actually being pretty exciting. So first up, we have Monopoly for the Wii. Hype. This one's kind of interesting. Batman the Brave and the Bold, the video game. I haven't heard anybody talk about this game before. However, it was made by WayForward, my beloved. So I'll have to check this one out eventually. They were doing a lot of licensed games back then. A lot of them are hit or miss, like the Adventure Time games, but I'd be curious to check this one out. And then finally, a game I did not have for Wii, a first-party Nintendo game. Very happy to find this. It's like a $40 or $50 game. My girlfriend grabbed this one. Wii Party. Yeah, I did not own this game. So happy to have this, excited to try it out. Might not be in the best of condition, the little Club Nintendo thing there, as you can see, has a little rip in it, but for the bins, I cannot be too upset with that. In fact, let me check the disc condition on this. I haven't checked this one yet. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, it's scratched. It's probably as scratched as the Jet Set Radio, but I'm not complaining, man. I could get this resurfaced, and that would be a pretty nice copy of Wii Party, which I don't want to spend $50 on because it's Wii Party. This is kind of a random pickup, but I saw it pop up on my Wii U game search, so I decided, you know what, I'll just go ahead and pick it up. It was $10, I think, free shipping. The Shakedown Hawaii slipcover. This is just the slipcover for the Wii U game. When VBlink put these up on their website, I, for some reason at the time, was like, oh, I don't need to spend the extra. I think it was $5, maybe $10 for the slipcover edition, and I was like, oh, I don't need that. I'll just get the standard copy. So I thought it was kind of serendipitous that this popped up for $10 free shipping on eBay or something like that. Maybe it was plus shipping. So I went ahead and picked this up, and inside they actually just had an empty case, I believe. Yeah, just an empty case. There's something in here though. It's a card. Oh, it's the code for the soundtrack. if you really want to redeem that, you can on Bandcamp. Next up, we have two 3DS items. So this one I had a cartridge for. We found it at Goodwill, but I bought a case for it. It used to be pretty pricey. It's a licensed game, but it has come down in price quite a bit. I think I got the case for, I want to say $12 to $15 somewhere in there. But Gravity Falls, Legend of the Gnome Gimulets. I didn't grow up with Gravity Falls or anything. I'm not really too familiar with this show, but at one point this game was pushing like $60. So when we found it at the bins, the cartridge only was like 30 or 40. But it's come down quite a bit since then. So I was waiting. I was thinking maybe, oh, I sell the cartridge, buy the complete copy, make it a little bit cheaper myself. But eventually the case got cheap enough. So another cool 3DS game for the collection. But more importantly than that, someone posted a collector's edition I was missing without the game, which is good because I already had the game. And that is Bravely Default. So yeah, very exciting here to have this in the collection. It has everything except for the game. So I was like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. I think it was $40 free shipping, which shipping alone on this would be kind of high. And the fact that I already had I had a sealed copy of the game, so I was like, yeah, I'll just go ahead and buy that. And I have the collector's edition for Bravely Second, so I thought that was also kind of serendipitous. I was like, yeah, I might as well go ahead and pull the trigger on that. But now we're winding down. We have 4 Nintendo DS games and 2 Game Boy games, complete in box, of course, if you are following the channel now. Very, very handheld build, as always, but also specifically Game Boy and DS, especially Game Boy, though. I gotta be real. Game Boy, I've just been really jazzed about collecting, although it's definitely pricier, so not as much. So we'll do DS first. Starting off, I did have a cartridge for this. I bought it like a year or two ago for my roommate Kevin, but I bought a case and manual for The World Ends With You. This was going up in price, and I do have it on Switch, but I think if I were to play this, I would play it on DS. Like, this is very DS core. Like, I gotta play this on DS when I eventually do play it for the first time. Now, this next one popped up for a very good price. I think it was listed for $25, which was already a good deal, and then I offered $20 and they took it. I really wasn't expecting them to. Another game that used to be pretty pricey during COVID that I guess has come down quite a bit. One I've never played, Kirby Superstar Ultra. I've had so many people tell me this is like one of the best Kirby games, and I'm really excited to play this because I've never played Kirby Superstar. I don't know if I will believe that. I personally have my doubts that I will view this as the best Kirby game, but I'm excited to play this. The DS Kirby games are very hit or miss, but of course this is a remake of the SNES game. So yeah, this was really cool to add to the collection. Nice and complete. I was worried about condition because it was so cheap, but no, it's all good. I mean, can't really complain. And then these final 2 Nintendo DS games I got from the same seller over on eBay. He had them both listed separately. I was like, hey, if I buy them both together, can you give me like a little bundle deal? He was like, sure. I think I paid like $160, $170 for the lot of 2, which isn't like a great price for what these are, especially one of them, which I'll talk about, but good overall. I'm definitely not complaining about the price. So 2 Square Enix JRPGs I've been really wanting for the collection. First up, we have Dragon Quest VI. So now the only Dragon Quest game I need, I believe, or at least mainline Dragon Quest game, is Dragon Quest V, which is the more expensive one. I've heard mixed things of 6, but I wanna tell for myself. I think I'll end up liking it. So excited to add that to the collection. But more importantly, a game I actually did start playing. I really haven't been playing much recently, I'll be real. I've been kind of just occupied with movies and stuff and other real life things, so I haven't had time to play too many games, but I did pick up this from him as well, and I've been playing it in bed before I go to sleep at nights. Chrono Trigger. Yeah, I've never played Chrono Trigger, so I picked this up from him, and that was very exciting. So yeah, I'm only a couple hours in Chrono Trigger at this point, but I'm really enjoying it. Love the music, love the world, love the characters, love the gameplay. Everything about this game so far is just really freaking good. Now, the only downside to this, while it was a good deal, I didn't realize that Chrono Trigger, I shouldn't say that. I knew Chrono Trigger came with a map. He said it was complete in his listing. I guess at some point they reprinted the DS version of Chrono Trigger without the map. So I'm not really blaming him, you know, but it doesn't have the map. And my copy is obviously on my DS because I've been playing it. But yeah, it doesn't have the map in there, which is unfortunate, but I don't know. I can survive without having the map. Maybe I'll find the map for cheap on eBay by itself at some point. But yeah, very happy to add these 2 classic JRPGs to the DS collection. A year ago, my DS collection wasn't even good. Like, I really didn't have much for it, I'll be real. But at this point, I'm feeling pretty good about how my DS collection's sitting. And as promised, I have 2 Game Boy games to show off here. 1 Game Boy Color, 1 original Game Boy, and it's actually an import. We'll talk about that in just a second. First one here, saw it go up on eBay for cheap. I was like, okay, send him an offer. He actually took it. I'm so happy about this. Of course, I want every game in the series at some point. I've never played this one, but Pokemon Pinball for Game Boy Color. Very clean condition, very clean condition. If you know, this is one of those games that has has a rumble pack in the cartridge. I would like to get Ruby and Sapphire Pinball because I have played that one. That one's a lot more expensive, but yeah, very, very happy to have this in the collection now. And then the European game I picked up, I'm not, normally I don't go for European stuff, especially because this game did release in America just under a different name, but I saw it pop up, I think for 35 free shipping, and I was like, yeah, I'll just go ahead and buy it. Might be cool material for a short. Also, it is technically a different title, so I thought it'd be interesting to have Mario and Yoshi for the original Game Boy. As you can see, it's not in the greatest condition, but this is just a puzzle game. In America, it's called Yoshi, but in Europe and other territories, it is called Mario and Yoshi, and I think it has a way cooler title and box art in Europe. And yeah, as you can see here on the cartridge, it says DMG Yo EUR, so European, which is just kind of weird. I don't know why they had a different name for this game in Europe versus America, but it popped up for cheap. I was like, yeah, kind of on my Game Boy kick right now. Kind of an interesting little piece of Game Boy history. Might as well add it to the collection. And that is going to do it for today's pickups video. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for the support so far on this channel. I'm recording this like 2 weeks in advance, so I have no idea how many subscribers we're at. But at the time of recording, we're at like 300, which is more already than I expected to get on a new collecting channel. So thank you very much for the support on the video so far. And of course, as always, let me know what you've been adding to your collection in the comments down below. And I mentioned that at the top of the video, but definitely go check out my video where I bought a whole collection of stuff from a collector, because that video is crazy. But until next time, folks, of course, subscribe here for more collecting content. Subscribe to my main channel for Nintendo news. Follow me on Twitter at BoTalksGames. And until next time, peace.